That is like a what is the other virtualization will go or not, like taking care of part. Okay. So anyway, we'll go back once, guys. The first one is first question. What is virtualization? First question. Second question. Examples of virtualization. Different type of what you know about a virtualization. Okay. Third one is types of virtualizations. Types of virtualization. At least you have to tell 5 virtualization, mainly server, desktop, application, network, and storage virtualization. Network and storage virtualization. Yes, desktop virtualization, application virtualization, and presentation virtualization, user state virtualization are is actually one short class already I told. But in a desktop virtualization, I will tell only very small thing. That tomorrow I will tell. Okay, I will finish up network and storage virtualization, which is very interesting in that one. So when we are in a storage, I will explain storage virtualization. So then we'll see it. Maybe few things. Maybe if it's a difficult to understand things, but some storages means one by one we'll try to complete it. Storage virtualization. This is okay. We have seen worker bees working in a hive. Similarly, in storage virtualization, or worker bees. This is a size circle nodes. That's why it is little point. So I said no, I gather the nodes from different places. That's why it is like that. So don't worry. So don't worry, guys. Storage virtualization, it means normally we store a data. We store a data in devices. Where we store the data, guys? Where we store the data? In the device drives. Like we store the data here. I explain SSDs, SCSI drives, SAS drives. Maybe we store data in a SATA hard disk, PATA hard disk kind of stuff. We store data in the hard disk or SSDs. Maybe store data in hard disk. Maybe SCSI disk, SCSI hard disk, SCSI disk, SSDs, SAS disk, DAT means digital audio tapes, means it's a magnetic tape or a digital storage kind of stuff. Both are same, guys. DAT and DAS both are same. You want to see a pictorial kind of stuff also, I will show DAT, DSS. Okay, digital data storage, so DDS. So this is a digital data storage kind of stuff. It is a word style cassette type only. So it is a word style cassette type only, but still it is a cheaper and more data you can able to store, cheaper and bigger. Okay, it's a simple magnetic tapes only. So it is a cartridge 40 GB drive. This look like this one. It's a cassette part. So you can store a large amount of data, mainly for backup solutions. This is a backup DAT and DDS. And of course, we have a CD-ROM, DVDs, Blu-rays, optical drives. External hard disk, pen drives. These are also storage devices. Guys, okay? We store data in a hard disk, SCSI disk, SSDs, DATs, and CD, DVD, Blu-ray kind of storages. Okay, but these are all physical storages. These are all examples of physical storages. So what is this virtual storage? Here it is. Two things will come up. One is virtual disk. Is virtual disk. Normally, guys, physical storage means there is a device you store a data. There is a device you store a data. Like you can take pen drive, you store a data in the pen drive. SD cards. SD cards also storage devices. EMMC, that is what I not done here. That is EMMC drives. EMMC also look like a SD cards only. Okay, it's like a SD cards only. When you buy any mini laptops, your mobile phone storages, your mobile phone internal storage is a EMMC storage. EMMC storage. EMMC storage. Okay, see, this is a EMMC storage. It is also NAND storage only. It is like SSD type only, but still it is enhanced into your motherboards. Okay, mobile phones storage data are there. Some are like a chip type is also available, like a camera kind of stuff is available. Some are enhanced into your motherboard is also there. You take a laptop kind of stuff, like a mini laptop, tablets, mini PCs, mini PC kind of stuff. Okay, so then you can see those, not a very mini kind of stuff. So EMMC storage laptops, not this kind of stuff. Not even a cost. Oh, this is .com. No, I don't want .com. I want .in. Okay. So we go to laptops or lap desk. Two-in-one laptops, like traditional laptops. So choose cheaper. Yeah, it is. This also comes under, that is 64 GB eMMC storage. Got it? So this is the HP Chromebook. Yeah, touchscreen is also there, labeled as a touchscreen. It is a HP Chromebook. So anyone want to buy a tablet, instead of tablet, buy this thing. It's look like a computer only. Okay, laptop only. Okay, so I missed it. I didn't get that thought when I purchasing my tablet. So it is around 18,000. Instead of that one, if I put a 4,000 plus, so something like a laptop thing is also be there in with me. One more extra laptop, touchscreen laptop, 4 GB RAM and 64 GB EMCC Chrome OS. EMCC. Earlier days we have a EPCs also there. You know, EPC kind of stuff. EPC. It is maybe gone from the market. It's not gone from the market. Easy PC or Easy PC also there. EPC, Easy PC. Okay, that's a different type of eMMC storage, 32 GB. Now it is increased to 64 GB. So this is E storage. So whatever it is a physical storage. It means you store a data in the physical system, which you know it. But when it is come to the virtualization, you store a data in the virtual hard disk. The meaning is it is look physically, but actually it is not any form of physical connection. Okay, so that is one is virtual hard disk comes into storage virtualization. NAS and SAN. NAS and SAN also an examples of storage virtualization. vSAN, virtual SAN is also come under storage virtualization. Okay, RAID. What is RAID? Redundant array of independent disks. means combination of multiple disks together become a large disk size. And also the concept of combination of multiple disks together and create a large volume. So that is called the LVM concept is also there. That is logical volume manager also comes under this thing. And the storage space. The storage space is a similar concept of LVM. LVM is belongs to Linux. Storage space concept belongs to Windows. So these are all basically basically comes under storage virtualization. Virtual hard disk, iSCSI virtual hard disk. This is iSCSI virtual hard disk. So this also comes under storage virtualization. So after that one, I will tell only one thing which covers both storage and as well as virtual hard disk kind of stuff. Guys, look at, so different type of virtual hard disk are there. What is a virtual hard disk? Okay, same thing. We can store data in virtual hard disk. When you say hard disk, compulsory put a hard disk. Okay, when you have a virtual hard disk, you store data in the virtual hard disk. Store data in the virtual hard disk like a normal hard disk. We can attach virtual hard disk and also can detach. Attach and detach virtual hard disk whenever required, can able to do it. So we can attach virtual hard disk to virtual machines also. Okay, virtual machines. Guys, different upon organizations, the technology, name or a formats of a virtual hard disk, it changes. Okay, types. So formats of virtual hard disk. Different formats. I'm telling here. Look at here. VHDX format means you create a virtual hard disk. The extension is VHDX and VHDX format. This is belongs to Microsoft Windows. Okay, in Microsoft Windows, VHD and VHDX format. Okay, next VMware. In VMware Workstation or vSphere, anything, you take a VMware Workstation or you use vSphere virtualization platform .vmdk file .vmdk file. In a Linux virtualization format. What is a Linux virtualization environment? Proxmox Linux based virtualization platform, hypervisor platform name. Can be KVM. In this one, the virtual hard disk name is QCOW2. Okay, when you say, yeah, so someone will see QCOW, what is that kind of stuff. It is Q means QEMU, copy on write. 2 means version 2. Okay, so that is a one. Okay, so Oracle VM VirtualBox application wise. So VDI. Okay, so best thing is you want to know about different formats. You can go to VirtualBox also, will get it at different formats of virtual hard disk. So I'm going to create a new virtual machine. That time I will show you the virtual hard disk also. I don't, finally I will cancel it, so don't worry about it. So give some name. Okay, something is there. So I'm creating, just click on a create. When I'm creating, it is asking which type of virtual hard disk. VirtualBox disk image, VirtualBox disk image, VEDI. VHD, virtual hard disk, means it's compatible to Microsoft also. VMDK, virtual machine disk, virtual machine disk, virtual machine disk. Okay, means it's compatible between, so to virtual means VMware, compatible to VMware, compatible to Microsoft Hyper-V. Okay, it is HDD, parallel hard disk, means physical hard disk. It's a QEME, copy and write, QCOW. Enhanced disk, QED, enhanced disk. When I'm selecting something, you can see it is dynamically allocated fixed size. You can see dynamically allocated fixed size. Okay, these are the things. I'm not doing anything, just I'm canceling. Look at here, it is VHD is the virtual hard disk. Then thing is, it is with XML. VHDX is a VHD with XML, extended type. This is usually like a virtual machine disk. Okay, QEME, copy and write. QEME is hypervisor platform in the Linux based systems. VDI, VirtualBox disk image. We will ask these many questions. So these are all different formats of the virtual disk. Only Microsoft VHD .VHD difference I will tell, because only why, only two, because of I'm a Microsoft person, I know the details of these things only. If you create a VHD format, okay, it support to, means disk size 2 terabyte. Okay, disk size support up to 2 terabytes. VHDX disk size support more than 2 terabyte, and disk size support more than 2 terabyte and up to 64 terabyte only, not more than that. Virtual hard disk you can't able to create it. Yes, okay. Up to now.
Yeah, sir. Okay, sir.
So I'm shutting down this machine. Okay. So if we required, we'll open it again. Next part is fixed disk and a dynamic disk. Dynamically expanding, or allocating, dynamically expanding or allocating. Guys, names are little dynamic. Oh, why I am putting dynamically expanding. Okay, dynamically expanding disk, fixed disk, dynamically expanding disk. Okay, so what is this fixed disk? it is actually how to copy from there. So in the disk, there is a different naming structure is there. So I'm telling first type is fixed disk. So look at here, guys. This is also covers both storage and as well as storage virtualization. That's why I'm specifically that part I'm telling. Okay. See, this is my hard disk, guys. Listen very carefully. This is my physical disk. Physical disk. For example, my drive name is H drive. Okay, my current H drive size I'm telling. Okay, my current H drive size is 112 GB free out of 531. 531 is my 531 is total GB. 116 GB is free. So free I'm writing 116. Guys, look at here. I created a virtual hard disk. I create a virtual hard disk here. So something name disk1 dot VHDX like this. Okay. Okay. So put a name like this. So disk1 dot VHDX. I created a virtual hard disk. I created a virtual hard disk. Size of the virtual hard disk is 10 GB. And I created a fixed disk. I created a fixed disk. I created a fixed disk. Now, what is this fixed disk will do? It occupy 10 GB from your physical location when you are created. Okay, on creation of your virtual hard disk, and when you are creating virtual hard disk, it occupy the space. It is occupying space means, guys, tell me this one. In this is my free disk space now. I download or I copied a 10 GB file. I copied a 10 GB file in this disk. Okay, in this disk, I copied a 10 GB file, or I created a 10 GB file, or I downloaded a 10 GB file. Now, what is my free disk space? How much free space I will get it after putting 10 GB inside? Very good. 106.
Your remaining 106 open space.
106 only free space is available. 10 GB occupied. Same thing will happen if you create a fixed disk in the like this. Okay, 10 GB disk, a 20 GB disk, 30 GB disk. How much you are creating, that much it will occupy when you are created. So irrespective of things. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
it does not detach, sir. Sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Means once it created, it does not go to detach, sir. That is the meaning of fixed disk, sir.
We can detach it. Attach and detach in our hand only, because virtual hard disk main name is attach, detach, copy, move. These things will happen. But thing is, it occupies the space. Normal file you can able to delete, right? We can copy, move, delete normal file. Same thing, we can delete this virtual hard disk file whenever you want. But
Yes, sir. Okay.
file is like it is occupied. Even though you didn't put a data inside, it is empty disk. It is occupied like that. Okay. So I will show you that first. How to open disk management. Okay. This is the fixed disk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a virtual hard disk, and that is a fixed disk. So this is my H drive. Inside a H drive only I'm creating, guys. File, action, create VHD. Are you guys visible, right?
Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir. Visible, sir.
Very good. Create VHD. I select VHDX. I select fixed size. the virtual hard disk file is allocated to its maximum size when the hard disk is created. So what you will do, take a small size, make it as a side, okay, and you have to keep typing. Okay, so don't worry, I will do always like this only. PPT is usually is a guideline purpose only, but it will kills the spirit of explanation. So fixed hard disk. So next I will type a dynamic hard disk purpose. So fixed hard disk. Browse. Okay. In the H drive only, I'm creating directly on a H drive, VHDX format. VHD or VHDX, no problem. So look at here. First one is fixed disk, right? So I put a disk. So disk one, which is fixed 10. It's a 10 GB disk. Okay. So disk one is a fixed size, like for our understanding only. Just click save. Okay. So you can see VHD 2 terabyte, VHDX more than 2 terabyte, maximum 64 terabyte. VHDX feature only available after Windows 8 or 2012 server. So I said 10 GB. Guys, 10 GB will create time like you are creating a 10 GB file. Okay, it will take time. It's a fresh disk you are using, right? So that's why it will take time to create it. It will be created under this H drive only, like this. Okay, it's not been attached. It will take time. Let it create. Meanwhile, I will see. There is nothing is there, but still it occupied 10 GB from the physical disk. Okay, so if I put a data, for example, 1 GB data, I copied into this disk. Okay, just wait. Let it create, then we will talk. Let it complete. Guys, understanding, right? VHD, VHDX, two formats, fixed disk, dynamically allocated disk. Okay, it is created. Finally, it is mounted also. See, it is 10 GB mounted. It is unallocated. Nothing is there. It is unallocated. Nothing is there. But if you see 10 GB, it is created like this. So right click, go to properties. Yeah. When I told about a dynamic disk, maybe you will understand that time why I'm telling like this. Okay, see, size of the file Size of this file is 10 GB. Size of this file is 10 GB. Next, go back and check this PC 106. 106. 106. Why 106? 10 GB file is created. What file it is? Virtual hard disk file. Okay, virtual disk hard disk image file. See, hard disk image file, virtual hard disk is created. So that is because of fixed disk. So we'll see that one. Okay, first of all, this is a hard disk is there, not initialized. You have to initialize. When you are initializing, it is asking MBR and GPT. So you can choose anything, MBR or a GPT. I'm selecting GPT. No problem. Anything is no problem. Okay. It's showing basic disk. It is showing basic disk. Okay. You can't convert it into dynamic anyway, but so this is for detaching VHD. You don't want it, you can detach it. But I want to show you the creating simple volume. You can create a partition also, guys. You can create your own partition. I'm not doing now. Just a virtual hard disk is attached. Okay, and it is partition is created. It is iDrive. It is open, but I am not doing anything. Just see iDrive 10 GB. Okay, 10 GB drive. Fixed hard disk is created. 10 GB showing it is. It does not contain anything, even though you put some data. Okay, for example, you copy some data. This does not contain anything. We copy some data here. For example, I copy some 1 GB for 2 GB kind of stuff. Okay. So I'm almost copying more than 1 GB data into the iDrive in 10 GB disk. So last time before batch means 12 batch and 13 batch. Okay, so in 12 batch they ask a question. Normal people said I understand, but they ask one question. So what is that? How they didn't get it, sir? Fixed hard disk. Then I think one example. The example is become very useful. So I will tell you that one example. Okay, so I copied a data here. So the total data is it is 1.35 GB copied into my disk SSI drive. Even though you can see, so 1.38 GB used space. Okay, but if you see here it is, even the refresh 106 only, it is not reducing or increasing. Okay, so what is that meaning? It means I put a 1.38 GB inside of this disk. Okay, so no changes in the volume size. Why? Because of it is already occupied. It is already occupied that space. You can put up to 10 GB data. You can put up to 10 GB data, not more than 10 GB data, but you can put up to 10 GB data directly. It is like a reserved size only. Okay, and compulsory you have to check how much is free size is available. How much available? That based on that only I can able to create a fixed disk. I can create a fixed disk up to 106 GB, means 105. Okay, think like 105 plus something, right? That much fixed hard disk I can able to create it. 100% utilization means 100 GB. If I create it, it will create 100 GB hard disk. I created here, no problem. But I cannot create 110 GB. Why? Because of I don't have that much of free space. Understand last point, guys? I have a 106 free space is there. I can create 100 GB virtual hard disk here, but I cannot create a 110. Why? Because we don't have that much of free space. This is the fixed disk. This is a dynamic disk. So before going to dynamic disk, I told I give you an example for understanding if you are getting. Think like this, guys. Think in a logical. Okay. Think in a logical and logical imagination you require. Think this is a table. You have a table. The total table size is 116. Okay, the area. So don't think area kind of. So just only values wise. Okay, this is a table. In the table, I put a tray. Okay, in the table, I put a small tray. The tray value is 10. So the tray occupied space in the table. Understand? Tray will occupy the space in the table. How much space? When you put a tray space, it occupied. What is the tray space?
10 GB.
10. So how much free space available in the table?
106.
106. Okay. Just like a normal units only. Okay. Next. Now I put a cup and saucer kind of stuff. Okay. I put a something like a value is, for example, 2. Okay, something 2 GB. A cup or a saucer kind of stuff, I put it. Now, how much free space is available in the table, on the table?
104, sir.
106 only.
106 only, sir. In the
106 only. See, I didn't put on table.
106
Yeah,
space.
okay,
Put on
okay.
110
Inside
space.
this one only. How much free space is available in this one? In the tray?
8.
8.
Free space is 8.
8 GB.
Okay, because of inside. This is still not occupied by this one. Okay, so this is a example I created. Maybe that time those people are understand. So that's why I give an example, same thing. Now you got it point, right? So fixed disk. You put a data, how much data you can put it? 10 GB data you can able to put it because you created 10 GB only. Maximum, how much size of the physical fixed disk we can able to create it? We can create up to the free space available in the physical volume. Free space available in the physical volume. Okay, so that is about your kind of stuff. Okay, now I will create a dynamic disk. So I will take a dynamically, not it's a dynamic disk, guys. Never say it is a dynamic disk. It's a dynamically expanding or allocating. Dynamically expanding disk. So how much size? Same size only, no difference. No difference. D1 VHDX or VHD, no problem. 10 GB only. You know how much size it will occupy? How much size? Dynamically expanding disk. You know, when you are created, how much size it will occupy? Now current free space is 106. How much it will occupy is nothing. Maximum size in a starting is 4 MB only. 4 MB only. Okay. So we cannot subtract 4 MB from here. So it is a size when you create it is a 4 MB. So when you creating some data, it means you are initialized, formatted like that. It expand up to 600 MB like that. Maximum size. Okay. Forget about this calculation that we will see in practically. Only one question. I put a 2 GB data in it. 2 GB data. So this is dynamically expanding. It meaning is when you put a data in the virtual hard disk, the virtual disk will expand. Okay, like a fixed hard disk. unlike your fixed hard disk. Fixed hard disk, it occupies starting only. Dynamically expanding disk never expands, means never occupy starting. Okay, it maintain same space only, means free space like that. Okay, so when you put a data inside of this virtual hard disk, okay, when you are putting a data into the virtual hard disk, it expands to that GB only. Means you put a 2 GB, then your free space become 104. Your free space become 104. Okay, so it shows free space is 8 GB here, but the totally it is showing your H drive is 104 free space. Okay, so example for our understanding, example is just like a balloon. Okay, so in the balloon, how much air you put it, it will expand. How much air you will put it, it will expands, right? Same thing, or a baggage kind of stuff. Okay, it is like a bag. Bag is empty bag, does not contain anything. It's a bag only, right? It occupies very small space. You put a, instead of tray, you put a bag. Okay, so or a balloon. So what happened? Or any compression kind of stuff. Okay, it does not occupy much space. It is occupy a very small space only, right? It is empty balloon. It is the best we can take. I put an empty balloon like this. Empty balloon. You put a air. You put a some air like a 2 GB air. You put it. It occupies space on the table. So obviously 2 GB subtract. How much you can able to put a air? Maximum 10 GB here. Same thing like that. Okay, but it is a dynamically expanding, guys. It is not based on how much free memory is there. So first of all, we'll create it and we talk. Create a VHD, browse disk to dynamically expanding. Okay, it is a 10 GB disk I am creating just for our memory purpose only. Change it to GBs. Make sure dynamically expanding is selected. And very important is don't take it as a light, guys. Why? Because of in a storage also, this is the one concept. Okay, virtual hard disk file grows to its maximum size as data is written to the virtual hard disk. Okay, so yeah, 10 GB disk. I'm creating dynamically expanding disk. Click OK. What to do next? It is attached immediately. Don't take time. It won't take much time also. I will show you that H drive. See, dynamically expanding disk. Can you see the size, guys? How much is it?
4 MB.
4 MB. Fixed disk 10 GB starting only. Now initialize the disk. GPT MBR. GPT I selected. Anybody forget about MBR and GPT? Please check it. Otherwise, I will tell no problem. GPT 128 primary partitions, more than 2 terabyte support, 18 EB it support. Okay, Yeah, it is a volume J volume. So it is 10 GB. It is also a 10 GB. It does not contain anything. But I'm going to my H drive. See the file. Size of the file is 164. Size of the file is 164. But data is not there. What is the data inside? The data is 164, right? 4 MB to 164 without having any data expanded. We written a data which we don't see. What is that? File system, partition types, MBR, GPT, we initiated and we created a partition. That's why it is 164. But literally there is no changes in the H drive. Okay, I created 10 GB drive into this one. See, 106 GB. Same thing, no difference. Refresh, nothing changes. Nothing changes. Okay. Now what I will do, I put some data. I want some 2 GB data. I will try. OS folder, 2 GB, 3 GB, 4 GB, whatever it is. Yeah, this is good one. And also this is also very good one. So this is 1 GB around. More than 1 GB I will put it. More than 2 GB I will put it. Copy. Okay, so 1.98 GB. 1.98 GB in a H drive. J drive, sorry, J drive. So it is. Let it copy, guys. We'll see. Network virtualization is there after this one. It is copying, so don't worry. This is Zen server. Okay, this is a Zen server 7.2, and this is the VMware vSphere. This CentOS minimal. Yeah, copied successful. Okay, so Z drive out of 10 GB, how much data I put it? 2 GB. Okay, totally 2 GB it is. User space is 2 GB. Okay, guys. Now look at this space. 106 become 104. How much space it is? So how much size of this one? 2 GB plus, means that 164 something is there now. So totally 2 GB here. Size of the file. Guys, understand finally this is. If I put 1 more GB, what will happen? If I put a 1 more GB, what will happen? This is become 3 GB. This is become 3 GB, and this is become 103. Okay. How much data I can able to put it? Up to 10 GB. Up to 10 GB only we can able to. Okay. Up to 10 GB. Next. So a small point here it is. Guys, my free space is 104, for example. I can create 200 GB. I can create 200 GB, dynamically expanding wise. Okay, dynamically expanding 200 GB, maybe 300 GB, maybe 1 terabyte, like this. Sorry, maybe 1 terabyte, like that. We can able to create 2 terabyte, 5 terabyte, 10 terabyte. You can create any size of the disk in a dynamically expanding. That's why when you are creating a virtual machine, I said, so don't check that allocate space now kind of stuff. Don't check that one. And also you can give 200 GB also, no problem. Why? Why? Because it won't occupy your Windows 10. When you are installing, it will take 16 GB to 20 GB maximum. Windows 10. Windows Server also same thing, around 14 GB, 15 GB occupy. Linux it will occupy, if it is GUI, maximum 5 GB. CLI maximum it is 2 GB. But you given a 20 GB, still no problem. If you given a 20 GB, or sorry, you are given 200 GB, 300 GB, no problem. Because the disk is dynamically expanding type disk. Okay. So guys, everybody understand, right? Fixed disk and dynamically expanding disk.
Yes, sir.
So only thing is virtual hard disk. Here it is. We can detach or attach the virtual hard disk also. We can detach virtual hard disk from here. So I detached it. So it is got removed. So if you go to this one and go back once, see the J drive is gone from here. Okay. So if you want it, you can go to here and we can go to attach VHD, browse it and link it. I will tell simple way, that is Windows 7 way I showed, but Windows 8 or a Windows 8.1, Windows 10, simply double click on it. It will be mounted. See it is Z drive. So this is the data. So data stores in the virtual hard disk like you store the data in the physical machine. But virtual hard disk is the file in the physical storage. Virtual hard disk is a disk file in the physical storage. And whenever you want it, you can attach it. When you don't want it, you can detach it. Like simply eject from here also works. So I ejected it. But data is stored in this particular files only. Whenever you want it, simply attach it by double click or simply click on mount. Because mount is the first option, double click automatically mount. Okay, you can mount it and we can see it. Like this. Okay, so this is about your basic virtual hard disk kind of stuff. If you want to do in your system, you can do it. And so only one thing I want to tell, differencing this. Differencing this, guys, this differencing this is a little challenging compared to understanding level, but I will try to explain the differencing this and you guys also try to understand. So these days, like a differencing disk you want to see, you can see in a Hyper-V environment. So I'm removing all these details. Okay, just I need a small space to do it. Guys, this is my disk. This is my disk. A standard disk. For example, the name is disk A. Just for example, I put a disk A or a disk 1, disk 2. I put a virtual hard disk. This is a virtual hard disk. It's a disk. Now, this disk contains some data. The disk contains some data, maybe operating system or maybe a normal data, like that data. Okay. Virtual hard disk, fixed disk, dynamic disk, any disk. It's a disk. Virtual disk. Okay. It's a disk. Now I got some project or some work. How to use this data, how to interact with this data. I want to add something to this data. I have to remove something data. I want to modify it for my some analysis, for reference, for doing something work on it. So when you do work with your data, means you are accessing data, you are modifying data, transferring data, copying data, deleting data, all these things. What happen? Data will be changes, right? You have a notepad file is there, I have a notepad file. Okay, I keep changing from this line, this line, this line. Okay, or maybe I'm accessing like that. Either data will be corrupted, data will be changed or modified. So I won't get the original data. I won't get the original data. Again, I have to take the backup of the data. Understand the scenario, guys? I have data in the disk. When you are accessing the data, means are multiple users are trying to access the same data, lot of changes occurs, data corruption or data modifications will occurs. The original data will be changes, altered. Understand that point? This is a point by point, guys. It is.
Yeah, sir.
Okay. So in that cases, we take this disk as a reference disk or a parent disk. Parent disk. It means data in the, this is E, sorry. So data in the disk not changes. Data in the disk won't be changes because it's a reference disk. What is that? What is the data in the disk will be safe. No changes, no corruption, no access. What I will do, I'll make that one as a parent disk and I will create a lot of child disks on it. Okay. So one child disk first I will explain and I will go to the multiple child disk. So this is my child disk. For example, C1 is my child disk name. Okay. This is the child disk. So based on the parent, I created a child disk. Just as child disk only. So what are the data inside of the parent shows here? Okay, it is like a, do you remember linking files, soft link, hard link? Okay, do you remember soft link, hard link? Kind
Yes,
of
sir.
stuff only. So there is a link between parent disk and child disk. Link will be there. Data in the parent disk will shows in a child disk. First point. Second point, if you modify if you done any changes in the child disk, it does not affect on the parent. Does not affect on the parent. Understand? You can modify, delete, you can add it. Anything you do it, nothing will be happens to your parent. And next, I can create a multiple child disk. I can create a multiple child disk by taking reference of one single parent disk. I can create multiple child disks with a single parent. So all these people will get a same data. All these people will get a same data. Whatever the data you modification in a child disk, it does not affect on a other child disk. Understand? You modify data in the first child disk. It does not affect on any other child disk. So each child disk is independent. Data is also independent. Data is same data as a parent initially. What are the parents data is there? Same data is there initially. If you modify or changes, deleted or added into your child disk, it does not affect on your parent and as well as your other child disk also. So this is called a differencing disk. This concept is called a differencing disk.
Sir, one thing, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, when if you want to modify the original disk, then what is the way, sir?
You can connect it to original disk while when you are using a child disk. Parent disk should be silent. No connections. You should not connect this one. And active connection is not there. You want to change data in the parent, then you have to connect it to the parent.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay. So that's the thing. I can show you, but we need a virtual machine with a Hyper-V in it. And I can show you how to install the Hyper-V in the VMware this machine. Okay. So there is some conditions. So with the conditions, I will show you. But now I will finish this one. So very less people. That's disappointing. Half of people are not there. Okay, no problem. Just what I'm trying to think is a differencing disk. It is create a child disk on parent disk. Okay, referencing disk. That's called a parent disk only, not a reference disk. So create a child disk and a parent disk. Data in parent disk shows in child disk. Can create multiple child disk on same parent disk. Okay. Change in a child disk data does not affect the other child disk and parent disk also parent disk. Okay, so these are the points, guys. So that is important. What is the use of this one? What is the use and where you are using? That is in a virtualization. What is the use of this kind of virtual disk and parent disk and child disk? When you take a snapshot, okay, snapshot, okay, checkpoint, okay, you take a snapshot or a checkpoint on a data or on virtual machine. Okay, so this thing is very useful. That different disk concept is very useful. You take a snapshot of virtual machine. I will show you what is snapshot because it is also in a part of see snapshot like this. So existing snapshots I will show you guys like this. This is my server 2012. Still it is there. Snapshot manager. See, DC is installed. See, I configured domain controller. Maybe in the future I want to show someone without installing domain controller again. So I want to show you how to create a user. Maybe I want to install a application on my 2012 server, but already domain controller should be installed. I cannot do every time like how much time we taken for installing domain controller kind of stuff completely. We install we create a virtual machine. We created a virtual machine. We install a operating system. We install operating system. Okay, so the concept is like it's a new one. What we done, first one is we created a virtual machine, and then second step is we install a operating system kind of stuff, right? Third, we done a settings, required setting, right? IP address, name changing, restarts kind of stuff, done a setting. Fourth one, ADDS role installed. ADS role install. What is the fifth step? Promote the server as a domain controller, right? Again, it is restarted. So, and created a OU and created a users like that, right? This is totally a simple domain controller setup. Guys, understand? Do you remember your Windows servers?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Maybe in the future I want to do something on it, like a DHCP or DNS practical. Okay. What happens when I want to do something on it? So like a DHCP or a DNS, some practical, or maybe I want to do install some application like a SCCM, very dangerous applications like a SCCM, Exchange, Microsoft Exchange, okay, or maybe SQL servers, Microsoft SQL server, right? Heavy applications it is. So when I do this kind of stuff, system may failure. DHCP DNS is okay. When you do this kind of stuff, SCCM, Exchange server, SQL servers, SharePoint servers, on the servers, physical servers, what happens? It may not work. Maybe failed installation. It failed installation. So what I have to do? Again, delete the machine first. Create a virtual machine, OS, settings, ADDS, promote. Then do required settings, do installation of SCCM or a Exchange or a SQL like that. Again, it is failed. Delete the virtual machine, create a virtual machine, install OS, settings, ADDS, and promote. What I need, first of all, a domain controller. Because of something I do, I am getting a problem, but I have to do from starting. How much time it will be take? Understand concept? Understand the concept or not?
Yes, sir.
This is, we know how to configure it, but we are doing multiple times just for one purpose. This is mostly failure, possibility of failure, or changes may affect your original system. You done some changes. The changes or applications may affect your original system. So what we take? We take a snapshot. We take a snapshot. What is the snapshot? So if you done anything here and you don't want that now, you can revert it to the previous stage. You can go back to the previous stage. So that is called a snapshot. So I installed a domain controller. I configured domain controller completely, and I took a snapshot. I taken a snapshot here. Okay. So I take a snapshot and I save that position. Okay, like this. Now I don't want to restore it now, so I don't want to do anything. Okay. If I do something in this one, If I do something and it is a big mistake, I can go back, like very simple, go back to this one. Even though that is last time, it is very useful, happened in my machine, specifically in a 2003 server. I use 2003 server particularly for backup practical purpose. Backup practical purpose. Okay. This is a domain controller is created. Okay. So domain controller is created, and this is my domain name, cmsproject.ate.com. So that's the ATE project is there that time. They need a 2003 servers installation. Okay. So for the people, I created like this. I keep it like this only. Last time what happened, I keep doing this backup and for multiple batches. Suddenly it stopped working. So what I have done, I roll back to my previous stage. Simply I click here, I click on go to. I click here and go to. I go to back to the previous stage, means in a good condition. You can see from here also the repack. This is simple Windows XP machine snapshot. So I installed required packages in it. So one of the application is Admin Studio, Vice Package Studio. Okay, if I done any changes, I can go back to the previous stage. Same thing I done. Why I told SCCM? Because SCCM failed me 4 times. Almost 3 times I rebuild entire machine from scratch. Again, create a virtual machine, install operating system, set up a domain controller, promote the domain controller, and do all the DNS settings. Primary DNS server, see like a forward lookup zone, reverse lookup zone, NS lookup. Okay, all the things I have done first. Okay, then I install SCCM pre-packages, pre-installation, pre-configured packages required. I install that one, MS SQL, Wake application, then SCCM. After when you are installing SCCM, failed. Okay, again I have to revert it back. Like that, almost 3 times I suffered a lot. Almost it took 2 days time to finish up this. So a full half day you have to dedicate it to installation. Okay, and it is will fail. Like next day, next half day again you will try. So finally, what I have done, first install OS up to domain controller, take a snapshot. Install a prerequisite, complete it, take a snapshot, and install the SCCM. At that time it is successful. So obviously you are happy. Unnecessarily taken a snapshot. What happened if you take a snapshot? Understand, guys, what is the use of snapshots?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, so what happened if you create a snapshot? See, look at here. This is VMX file, and it is VMDK file. This is VMDK file. Virtual machine disk file, hard disk file. This is also virtual machine hard disk file. The first one, the first initially, before you take a snapshot, store in a one virtual hard disk, separated and with a link. And next one will be in a separate hard disk. So what are you do it? You do it here only. When you roll back, it load from here. So how many times you can roll back? You can easily roll back, right? So this is separate hard disk. It is like a, this act like a parent before. Okay. It is act like a parent disk snapshot. When you take a snapshot, the up to you done, what are the installations, what are the packages, what are the data in the disk, the disk will be separated. That entire disk will be separated, means not separated means that disk is like that only, no changes. Like the disk having fixed information, which is before snapshot, what are there, that information is in a disk only. The disk, it is a one hard disk. It is one hard disk, one virtual hard disk. Okay, so it act like a parent disk. When you take a snapshot, a new child disk will be created. Understand, guys? First disk is your original disk, original operating system, everything is there. When you take a snapshot, a child disk will be created. Child disk will be created on this parent. On this parent. Okay. And there is a link. And you are running a virtual machine based on this child disk only. So in a child disk, parents data will be there and child changes also stays in this only. You install application stores here only. After snapshot, you download a data. The data stores the child disk only. You deleted some services. The changes in the child disk only. Now you feel you don't want it. You want to go back. Yes, parent have original data, so you can get the previous stage. So what are you done? It will be clean up from here. Okay, so this is called a snapshot, and parent and child is useful at a snapshot. I am unable to type regarding snapshot kind of stuff. Okay, so snapshot explanation. Okay, I could take snapshot on a virtual machine. Take a snapshot on a virtual machine. Okay, if any changes occurs, okay, we can revert it back to previous stage. Previous stage also you can say, yeah, previous stage. So any changes occurs, you can go to previous stage. Or issues, we can change it to find any changes or any issues are there, so then we can revert it to the previous stage. I don't know the previous spelling. Okay, no previous kind of stuff. Okay, take two things. Okay, referencing disk like a parent child disk is there. Okay, so how to tell this one? Hard disk or virtual disk, hard disk. Okay, hard disk of virtual machine means virtual hard disk of a virtual machine. Before snapshot is parent. Okay, working hard disk after snapshot is child. Okay. I don't know how to put a words and all for our understanding. That I explained checkpoint and parent and child almost of long period of time. Yeah, I took a lot of time to explain last part only. I think we need really the checkpoint kind of stuff. Yeah, checkpoint snapshot technology wise, snapshots, micro window, snapshots, VMware, okay, checkpoints, Hyper-V. That's the thing. Guys, understand or not? Minimum understanding, at least 5, 10, 50%.
Yeah, sir. Got it, sir.
Once more, we got it.
Got it, sir. Sir, can we show practice? How
This is all
the
theory based subject. Even just I showed only this thing just on my interest only. Snapshot thing, you want to see the snapshot thing is practically means I showed one VMware snapshot also. Yeah, practically want to load it, then you have to do one practice. This is a repackage. I use this one, so this is okay. So already taken a snapshot, right? So normally I start the virtual machine. Windows XP, guys. Why Windows XP? What is the difference between Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 7, Windows Vista, and XP? What is the difference? Good difference. I want positive point. Anybody knows? What is XP? What is XP? What happened, guys? So I started a machine. This is a vmem file, meaning is it's a memory file, RAM file it is. Okay. This is VMDK, the virtual hard disk which contains main package 4 GB drive. This is currently working one. 54 MB. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is, you know what is the symbolic representation of this hand? Meaning is shared. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'll put some data in the current machine. Okay. So I will find again some 2 GB, 3 GB data from here. So I will try some very small file, which is my minimal file only. So I'm copying on the desktop. We'll see if space is available or not. Let it copy. No one has answered me. What is meaning of XP? Windows XP. XP meaning. Don't know?
No idea, sir.
Experience. See blue screen and all. What is the difference between Windows XP and 2003 to newer versions in a positive way, which is I like, you know, fast, because earlier days RAMs are very small. Okay, RAM availability is very small, right? So RAM is very small. RAMs are 128 MB RAM, 256 MB RAM, 512 MB RAM. 1 GB is a great people having a 1 GB RAM. Very great people are having 2 GB RAMs. Now we are getting 4 GB is not enough. 8 GB is not enough. But I can run this Windows XP with a 512 MB RAM. If this is Windows Server, minimum 2 GB, very lag. Windows Server 2003, 512 is more than enough. Okay, fast booting. That's why I choose this one, because I don't want to wait for Windows 10 to boot kind of stuff. Okay, so next, refresh. But this should be changes, right? So no problem. I copied some data and also will copy some other data. So simple data will go. Yeah, this is having more files. Okay, so these many files. So it is look good. Yes. Good now. Okay, guys. Computer might be risk. Okay, no problem. And I'm going to this. This is Explore. Okay, I have a C drive only. So this is my data. Guys, okay, this data is done. Now I got a problem. I don't want this one. I want to go back to my previous one. Okay. Go to VM, Snapshot. You can directly click here. Directly click here, no problem. You know, these are the two applications are installed. See, Orca, Vice Package Studio, and there is a micro version Admin Studio. These are the applications for repackaging a application .msi conversion .exe to .msi kind of stuff. That's why I still keeping this machine. Okay, so okay, this is the data I copied on desktop. This is how something is I copied. No problem. I'm going back to my previous stage. Click on the previous stage. Go to yes, but this will take time. Okay. So restoring virtual machine state. So already I created a snapshot. So don't ask how to create a snapshot. It is very simple. Take a snapshot. Okay. Take a snapshot. Just I want to show you the difference. Okay. So this is the when system is running. When system is running, that time only I taken a snapshot. But where is the data in it? Where is the data in it? Anybody? My applications are there, safe, no problem. Okay. Where is the data? Gone. It went to the previous stage. It went to the previous stage. Okay, that is a snapshot. To take a snapshot, very simple. Go to snapshot and go to snapshot, take a snapshot kind of stuff. Okay, to revert it, so you can select which part. Like a multiple snapshots also you can able to create it. Okay, multiple snapshots also you can able to create it. Like you taken a tree like this. Snapshot 1. Okay, snapshot 2. Meaning is you taken a snapshot on the main path only, separate. This is snapshot 3, means this is subpath. Like this, take it. This is OS is installed and there is an application called app1. Taken a snapshot. In this snapshot, I install a application 2. I taken another snapshot, means I go back once and then I taken a snapshot, means my previous to previous one. Okay, so that is the application 3. So I select a snapshot here, boot, means I will get A1, A2. If I select this one, I will get A1, A3. Okay, if I select like this, I create another snapshot. Okay, snapshot number 3, application number 4. So what I will get it 1, 2, 4. Okay, so it's a complete tree structure is there. So don't go to that one. So you will get confused. Completely brain will, how much you learn now, that much you will forget. Okay. See how beautiful sound it is. immediately responding. Windows 10, you have to click, you have to do it. Okay, so whatsoever it is, guys, that is a snapshot. We can revert it to the previous condition. Once you are taken a snapshot, you can go back to the stages. So when you're taking a snapshot, the first disk, the means earlier disk become a parent. The next after snapshot, the new disk is a child. Okay, so before you take a snapshot, the disk is parent disk. After you taken a snapshot, is a child disk. Okay, so after taking snapshot, what are you do? The data, the changes only happens in the child disk only. When you revert it back to the, when you go back to the parent, okay, when you going back to the snapshot, means before snapshot you are going, so you will get a data will be reloaded from the parent. So what are the changes occur at a child, means after snapshot will be gone, the data will be reloaded from the parent. So this is referencing disk, snapshots, okay, fixed disk, dynamically expanding disk, and virtual hard disk. And these are the different type of hard disks, storage devices. I told the storage devices. These are all storage devices, which is we already discussed. Okay, we can store the data in the hard disk, SCSI disk, SSDs, DAT, this kind of stuff. This is specifically for store backups, CC camera data. Opposite circuit camera data said no, originally CC camera data also stores in a DATs, magnetic tapes. DAT is a magnetic tape, digital data storage, magnetic tapes. Okay, or like this, different type of storages are there. Okay, these are the physical storages. But come to the virtual storages. Come to the virtual storage concept. Or a virtual storage or a storage virtualization concept. So that is virtual hard disk, NAS and SAN type of storages, like a centralized storages, virtual SAN storages, LAN storages, means which is physically not attached to your machine. So physically not attached to your machine. NAS, central storage, somewhere it is there, you are accessing. SAN, storage area network, it is also through network, you are accessing the drive. That is also, you are accessing storage, you are storing the data, but not in your physical machine, not in any attached devices. You are storing somewhere. Without a physical infrastructure, you can't do anything in a virtual, right? But not there. That is also comes under storage, storage virtualization. RAID concept, LVM concept means not a single hard disk, it is multiple hard disks will combine together and create a one large volumes. LVMs, storage spaces comes under this one. This is also not a single hard disk, also there. Virtualization in the storage, also partitions are virtually we are dividing a single physical disk into multiple physical disks. Virtually we are dividing a physical disk into virtual drives. That is also partitions. Partitions comes under also virtualization. iSCSI virtual hard disk, these are all kind. But main important of storage virtualization is virtual hard disk. When you say virtual storage, means virtual hard disk. Different type of formats of virtual hard disk is there. Virtual hard disk are stores as a file in the physical storage only. Okay, different formats are there. Microsoft virtual hard disk like a .vhd, .vhdx, .vmdk, .QCOW2, .vdi. Maybe there is some or other storage things are there, like a physical CD-ROM. What is virtual CD image? .iso. .iso is there now. We download Windows 10, Windows Server, Linux. .iso format. It is a CVD, DVD formats only. CD, DVD type only. It is, but virtual image. Okay. So you have a CD or DVD, physical one. .iso is a disk image format. Or a DVD disk image format. Okay, that is image format. Like it acts like a CD DVD. It acts like a CD DVD, but not a physical CD DVD. This is also one more point. Okay, guys, I told everything. Whatever I told, I told everything from what we know in. I'm not telling anything newly except this differencing disk. Okay, except the differencing disk. I told everything from what we know, what is there. There only. I no need to think something very new concept kind of stuff. Okay, it is there. That's why storage virtualization is, if you think normally, it is very easy. If you think very hardly, it is very difficult to understand. Okay, different type of formats are there. Next, VHD 2 terabytes maximum VHD support, which support up to Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10 is also there. VHDX is introduced in Windows 8 operating system, 2012 server operating systems. It support more than 2 terabyte and up to 64 terabyte of virtual hard disk we can able to create it. Fixed disk, dynamically expanding disk are there. So fixed disk means when you create a virtual hard disk, it occupy space immediately when you create a virtual hard disk. You can store the data based on what size of the hard disk it is you have created. Next, dynamically expanding is just like a balloon. How much data you are putting, that much it will be expand based on how much limited size you are given. Like you given a 10 GB, you can put a maximum data in 10 GB only. You can put a 20 GB virtual hard disk, store 20 GB data. Okay, but when you are putting a data, okay, you put a data 1 GB data in the virtual hard disk, that virtual hard disk size will increases only 1 GB only. Okay, it does not occupy when you create a virtual hard disk. You keep putting a data into the virtual hard disk, it keep expanding based on that one. Maximum data we can able to put it based on how much hard disk you are created. Differencing disk is a parent-child type of disk. So you taken a disk, data contains a disk. Okay, you created child disk on it. What are the changes occur in the child disk? It won't affect on parent disk and other child disk. So usually this is a snapshot technology also. So you take a snapshot, the previous data stage won't be affected. You can do anything after snapshot, it won't affect the previous stage of the data. Okay, so this is about a storage virtualization, guys. Tomorrow morning I will actually morning planning is DFS, but I will tell you network virtualization morning. Okay, so that's it. Tell your guys to attend compulsory tomorrow morning. Networking virtualization is very simple. Network virtualization is very simple. Okay, because of VMnet 0, VMnet 1, you guys are knows. I will tell in a Hyper-V. I will tell you tomorrow how to install a Hyper-V, in a Windows servers and Windows 10, and then what is the network Hyper-V related virtualization. What is the generation 1, generation 2, total Hyper-V tomorrow I will cover. Okay. If I got another chance to tell, I will show you vSphere in a networking related. I touched the virtualization storage part. That's why I am unable to go with the vSphere kind of stuff. But still okay. Tomorrow I will tell about an entire Hyper-V part. Very interesting one. Okay, if you cannot able to do it, means practically you don't need to do it. I will show you in practically. Okay, guys.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So
Bye.
stop recording. So forget that one. Thank you, guys.